Hi guys, so here is my Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. Now I can't wait for the Last Jedi movie to come out, and I also can't afford every Lego Star Wars set they ever make. So I decided to make this midi-MOC version of the Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. Now I did the best I could with the pieces I had. It's probably not 100% and there's not a lot of grey through here, but I think it still worked out okay. Managed to figure out how to get the gun turrets at the front there, and you know, it's got some movable sides, so depending on the angle of the travel, you can just sort of tilt them around. Now it's not a super playable model because well, it's fairly delicate. Trying to get all the pieces in place at such a small scale was pretty difficult. For this cockpit here, I managed to get some sort of an effect that I think turned out okay. It's just a red transparent tiles and put a little canopy thing on top. So do you want to see how to make this Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter midi-scale? Well, let's do this. Now, I don't think it's going to be a full tutorial because, well, you probably don't have the pieces anyway, let's face it. So let's just take off the pieces here and we can see how it's all put together. So we'll take off this wing assembly here and this wing assembly there. And you've got the main cockpit in here. So let's work on one of these wing assemblies to start with. Now, these are all the pieces you need to make one wing assembly. There's quite a few sloped pieces in here, but you can probably just get away with the things that you've got lying around. So let's just see how it's all put together. We'll use this as a demonstration model here, so I'll just leave that to the side. You might be able to see that, but as I've said before, black is not my favorite color to work with. Okay, so we've got a 2x8 and a 1x2 jumper here, so we're going to pop that on like that. Now that's going to be for this gun turret. I don't know what these pieces are. They must be like a Technic piece sort of assembly. That's about as close as I could get to a little gun without it sticking out too much. So we're just going to pop that on like that. Now we're going to get a 2x6 piece and we're just going to pop that on the back here. Alright, so we want that to be offset by 3 here. Okay, so that's the other wing assembly is going to sit on that. And if we have a look at the back here, we've got another 2x3 and we'll just pop that on like that. So that's the main spine of this unit. So we'll just turn that over there and you should be able to see they're pretty much the same, which is always good. Alright, so now for the front assembly. This is a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 slope, 12x3 wedge plate. And we need some of these 6x3 wedge plate. Now to join them in the middle, if we have a look at this piece here, we just use a 1x4 and it goes on like that, and we use a 2x4 and that just sits on like that. Now this other winged piece here just will fit like that. Okay, so now on the back we need a 2x3 and we're just going to pop that on like that. Now that's just going to give us some support through the midsection there. The other thing we want to do now is put another one of these on. There's left and right versions of this, so obviously you'll find the correct version, and we're going to pop that on like that. So let's go ahead and do the other side. So again, we'll use a 1x4, a 2x4, and turn that over, and we'll use a 2x3 just in there, and then we use the other wing assembly like that. So just to finish that off, we're just going to put this in through here. Now, some of this design was made specifically so I could actually use the magnetic levitation device for the display. So I had to make sure it was balanced pretty well as well. So let's put that wing down there and we'll just see how we join these together. So I'm just using these 1x2s with little handles on, and a 1x1 with a little clip on top. So that just pops in like that. Now we've got 2 of these, so we'll just turn this over like that, and this clip will go in just over here. So it's just offset You can see that it's just offset from the middle there, and we'll do the same on this side too. So that's that one, and we're just going to offset it like this. So hopefully you can see that like that. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Let's join this up now. So the way that this actually looks, as you see, we've got studs on this side here, but through the middle here there's actually no studs at all. If you had some inverted tiles, you could actually put those on there just to cover it up, but I think it looked okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this on with the gun. So just using this little tile here, we're just going to turn this around, and it's just going to sit in the middle piece, just there, like that. Okay, and then we do the same for the other side, and that'll just sit there too, like that. Now that's fairly robust. As you can see, you can sort of move it around and change its angle, which is pretty cool. But when it's in place, well, sometimes it doesn't quite really work the way you hope it to, because you'll see how we actually make the connection later. So these are some more gun turrets, and we're just going to pop those on the front like that. Now I use the dark grey because there is some grey tinges into Kylo Ren's vehicle. I just couldn't manage to get them in without making it too grey. So I sort of kept it all black. But that's the wing assembly there. So you want to go ahead and make another one of these. Okay, so that's the wing assembly. One of the main features of the Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter was this red canopy at the front here. Now, I don't have a red canopy, and I wasn't going to go buy that piece, and it's probably the wrong size anyway. So I just used some of these 1x1 transparent red plates. And well, I think it turned out alright. So let's just see how this is all put together. Now the base here, just keep in mind, I actually just wanted a flat base, and I had to make sure the weight was distributed right. You could actually do the same with the plates that I've done at the top here. You could do that at the bottom. Anyway, we'll see how that's all put together. So this front bit here, I found a little canopy, and I think that really worked out well with these transparent plates. So I'm just going to take up a couple of layers here. Oops, take that off there, and off there, and off there like that. Now this is the bit where it's going to be hard for me to recreate, because I kind of just make these up. I don't actually like put plans together or anything like that. So bringing it back together could be a little difficult. So we'll see how we go. Alright, well there's some of the more common pieces taken off. So we're just using some rows here. So we've got 4 at the back, and we're using 2 at the front here. And it's not quite a curve, but it sort of gets that same effect, because we use a little black one in here, and we're using a few of these different plates. So let's have a look at this plate here. This is the front assembly. And we just take this little piece off here, and you can see we're using like a little wedge plate. So you can see this little wedge plate we're using, and we've got one for either side. Now for the main part, we're using a 6 by 3 sort of wedge. Yeah, good luck finding those pieces. Not really sure the part numbers, but well, you get the idea. So we're just putting a 1x4 on top like that. Now underneath, well, you can pretty much do anything you like. I just put those on, and I strengthened it up with some 1x2 and a 1x4 plate, and I just use a 1x1 brick here just on the side to sort of give it a little bit more of a curved sort of effect. Okay, so this is the main core here. Pretty much just got a plate in here. It's a 4x8, and then I sort of built it up with some other plates here. So you kind of just do what you can with what you have. I'm just going to pop that on top like that. In fact, it goes around on this side like that, and we'll go ahead and pop this canopy on now. So that's the reason we had the 1x4, because we wanted to make everything nice and level like that. Now this 1x2 at the back here was so that we could have that dome on top. So this is just a normal, what is it, what's a 3x3 dish, and just the way that that's sort of set up, you can actually just put a stud in the middle like that, and then that stud will actually clip in that group of 4 there. So pop that on like that, and that should just sort of sit there. So we'll go ahead and put these wings on the side. So these are just wedges again, 4x2s, and I kind of just built those up a little bit just to give it some sort of an effect. I've also put a 1x2 grill on there as well. So you'll see how that works in a second. So now we just need to go ahead and put the rest of these on. So I just got to figure out how to do that. Used a 2x4 brick and a couple more grills here. So we'll just pop that on like that. And that just sort of sits there like that. And like that. Okay, so that's the main part there. And well, now we'll just finish this off. So I've just used a 1x2 and some of these inverted slopes. So they just go on either side like that, and that's just going to pop on to the bottom like this. So we'll just connect it up like that, and that looks alright like that. So then we go ahead and use a couple of more of these slopes. So I'm just going to pop that. It's an inverted slope that goes that way, and another inverted slope that goes over this other side here. So it gives a little bit of definition to the back. We're going to use these little brackets. It's a 4x2, and I'm just going to pop those on top to secure it down a little bit more, just to give a little bit more strength. So we're just going to offset just on these 2 pieces here, like that. Now I just also found this little tile with some sort of waves in it, so I thought I'd just pop that on the back like that. Again, just to give it some sort of extra effect. Got some exhaust ports here, and these could be like the burners or whatever at the back. So just on the bottom, as I said before, you could fill this whole thing out or put some of these plates back on, and that would work as well. But I just needed to get a little bit of extra weight towards the back here. So it was actually tilting down, and I needed it to be quite level for when I was using the magnetic levitation device. So that's the pieces there anyway. So we'll just go ahead and I don't know if I actually showed you this bottom piece here. To connect it to the side parts, I had to try and figure that out. Okay, so I used one of these 1x1s with a stud on the side, and I'll just pop that on like that. Now I'll go ahead and do the same on this other side, like that. Then we just grab a couple of 1x2 plates and just pop that in there to make it level. So the way this actually connects together is, well, obviously we want it to be facing forward, and these holes in here, as you can see, are going to line up with these here. So let's go ahead, and I put it at the bottom. You could put it at the top if you wanted to. So easier to do when you actually have it flat, and you can just go ahead and push it down like that. So on the other side here, we want to go ahead and put the plate on there. So let's turn this over, and this one over again, and we're just going to pop that on like that. So that just pushes it down, and as you can see, that fits quite nicely. So these are going to move around and just create some sort of a cone shape like that. And well, as you see, that is a Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. So what do you think of this idea? Do you think it looks okay? Like I say, it's not a perfect representation of Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter, but I think it worked out okay with the pieces I actually had. So go ahead and make your own version and share in the comments below. Or alternatively, go ahead and buy the official LEGO version of Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. So if you want to see other Star Wars themed MOCs, just let me know, because I actually don't mind doing Star Wars stuff. I'm not a big fan of doing everything in black though, so just keep that in mind. But this one I think turned out okay. I was pretty happy, and my main focus was actually to have another model display on my magnetic levitation device, which I'm really loving, as you can tell. So for more videos, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. So until next time, it's bye for now.